Welcome to Language and Computers. It's a Quest 2 permanent course at the University of Florida. I'm Dr. Sarah Moeller, and I'm going to be teaching this course. I'm the main instructor. It is a hybrid course, meaning that the only time you're likely to see me is on video, or if you come to me in office hours, which I hope you do. So there's kind of two modes of learning. There's the 2/3 of the teaching happens independently on your schedule. It's flexible. And then 1/3 on Fridays occurs in person with the teaching assistant, so in a small group. So instead of having to come to a lecture hall with over 100 other people and trying to listen to me over the noise of a big room, you can listen to the lectures and the videos and do the readings on your own pace Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, after you've finished all the work for that week, you will come in person into a small group of not more than 22 people and get a chance to review the material. There are also, you might notice, two streams of learning. There's two things kind of going on to cover the big picture of this class. One is concepts and terminologies, which is what a lot of people think of when they think of learning terms and understanding concepts. These things you will get mainly through the readings and the videos. You'll also cover some of these things in the in-class online activities and lectures. We will assess your knowledge of these things, your growth in your knowledge of these concepts and terminologies through quizzes and homework 6, both of which are also meant to prepare you for the final exam. The second stream of learning is through experiential learning and research. That is, you doing things that are just jumping in and doing some of the things that advanced researchers do in these fields in social and behavioral sciences. And I won't always label all the experiential learning opportunities as, oh, this is a particular linguistic elicitation method that we use to get data from new languages. But in all cases, you will have an element of self-reflection to make those connections, whether or not you realize what you're doing is experiential learning. So these will be found in the homeworks 1 through 5, the writing requirement where most of your research will be happening, and again in the in-class and online activities will all be used to reinforce everything. Your interaction and your mastery of the understanding and the research skills will be assessed through the homeworks and the writing requirements, particularly the final version that you'll submit after spring break. There's also in this course, I found kind of two groups of people that come. There's many people from many different majors and specialties, but generally I found either people come with an understanding of technology, so they're coming perhaps from an engineering or computer science major, or they're coming from a non-technical, technology-focused major, whether that's health or something in the social sciences. And it's an interesting experience and challenge for me to serve both groups. For those coming from the technology side, so if you major in computer science, some of the algorithms, some of the terminology may seem elementary to you. They may be familiar. And that's fine. We're also covering other things. I was reading just today an article that was talking about how so many fields in science, such as math, philosophy, linguistics, and others, have shown a pattern over the last 30 years of becoming more interdisciplinary. They are learning as they advance the research and advance the limits of those fields, they're learning from other fields and they're taking information from other fields. Whereas at the same time, fields in AI, particularly in language technology, computer science, have shown a marked decrease in how much information they're taking and using from other fields. So if you're going into these AI-related fields, you're actually likely going into a very narrow field, and your ability to view technology and your training to allow you to understand holistically the technology that you're building is going to be quite limited. So this may be the only course you take where we take a holistic view at not just the technology and the algorithms, but also its impact on society. For those of you coming from a non-technical background, we'll cover some of the details because I want to be able to give you specific examples and not just talk about these things in abstract. but it's not a computer science class. So it may be your first chance to encounter computational thinking, and you certainly will benefit from that, but it's not designed just for computer scientists, so you'll have a lot to gain. Everyone here, I guarantee, will have new concepts, new terminologies, and new experiences. With all of that structure in mind, then we can get to the big idea of this course, which is to explore and answer the question, or attempt to answer the question, can AI be inclusive of all ways of using all languages? Your objective, by the end of this course, your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to be able to give an educated answer to both meanings of this question. So what are the both meanings? Well, I've underlined the word can there to give you a hint. I'm not going to tell you what both meanings are. We'll come back to this in the last week of the course. You'll be able to guess as we go along because you'll encounter it. But we're going to address this question specifically at the end, in the last week, at the end of the course. I'll give you a hint to what the both meanings are that you should know and be able to answer. As a linguist, I can say this. If you've ever said something like, "Can I be excused from the table?" and someone responded to you, not "Can you be excused?" but "May you be excused?" As a linguist, I can tell you they were wrong. What they were trying to say is that can only has one meaning, and that may has the other meaning. Well, in reality, can has both meanings. So if you can figure out what both those meanings are, then you realize that we have in this one question, two questions. And your mission, again, if you choose to accept it, is to be able to give an educated answer to both those questions using specific examples from technology or from instances, reactions, responses to the technology in society. So that's the big idea. The material you'll use to learn comes from two sources for you. One are the things you can only find on Canvas, so the required reading is the syllabus. That's for the first week. It is required reading. The writing requirements, the overall instructions are found on Canvas. The homework instructions are found on Canvas. The videos, for the most part, some are from YouTube, but you can find them in the form that you need with the activities that are required on Canvas. And then the reading for week 13 will also be on Canvas. The other material, the main material you'll be using for this course, is the textbook called Language and Computers. It's abbreviated LAC in the syllabus. It is online and you will want to get a copy. It's also available on Canvas. You will want to make sure that you get the second version, not the first version. There has been significant improvements since this first version and significant updates. And also the second version is free if you get the electronic copy, whereas the first version is not. It's also available through Perusal on Canvas. And then the last thing is the other required reading is a short blog post, really. It's an article, but it's in the Grammarly blog. It's the guidelines for writing, and you'll be expected to know these guidelines and follow them. I don't think they'll be new for any of you if you've taken any college level writing class or even high school level writing class, but we do expect you to know these guidelines. That's all the material. Here's the information on the grading, how it breaks down. As I've noted up there, these are hard deadlines. We simply can't accept late submissions. Everything is due on Thursday before you come into the Friday discussions, and you can start on them as soon as they're available. Right now, the first 3 modules are available, and other modules will be coming up soon. So you can start as early as you want. There are hard deadlines, though, when they're due. The only exception to the Thursday deadline is the last homework, which is due the last day of class, which is a Wednesday. One thing I want to note here is that 5% is online participation. There will be questions, usually integrated into either the reading or the videos, sometimes activities, sometimes quizzes. That's all part of helping you interact and reflect on the reading and get more out of it. Up there, you'll see that it's 5% of the grade. What I don't want you to think is that the importance of that online activity and the reading and the videos is only 5%. The importance, if I was to give the percentage based on the importance for your learning, those things would be more like 30 or 40%. However, this is the first time I'm doing this course fully hybrid, and since I've found that things often don't work as you expect them, I've decided to leave both you and I a little bit of freedom there. If things don't go and the activities don't work as expected, it's only 5% of the grade, and that just causes everybody less stress. As I said, the syllabus is required reading, so I'm not going to go over it right now. You certainly bring questions on Friday because you can go over that with the TA, and that's one of the reasons we have the in-person sessions on Friday, so you can bring those questions. You can also email. Generally, if you email questions that are general to the course, I expect other people have the question, and so I'll often create a discussion forum post on Canvas, anonymize your message, and respond to it, copy your question, and then respond to it there, and then send you the link so that everybody gets to see the answer. So you can check those discussion forums if you have a question, but of course bring them on Friday. I do want to emphasize a couple of important points in the syllabus. Notice that under attendance and in-person participation, it says attendance at Friday sessions is critical. And if you keep reading that paragraph, you'll see there's a lot of stuff that happens on Friday. It is really important. There's very limited time that you get to interact with the instructors in person outside of office hours, so please understand this is important. However, life happens. Please don't come if you're sick or at all suspect that you might be contagious. You can, of course, get a doctor's note. However, if you have just a sniffle, that might be contagious, and you know for sure the doctor, you don't need to go to the doctor, maybe he's not going to be able to help you. I would rather you stayed home, got some rest, drank liquids, got over the whatever it is, rather than going out of your way to go get a doctor's note so you can bring it to me so you can get excused. So we do offer extra credit opportunities. You can read about it in the syllabus. Basically, just come and talk to me in office hours, and we'll do what we can to help you make up for life, things that happen. But that's for things you can't control. Otherwise, absolutely be there on Friday. It's very important, and it'll be critical to your ability to learn and grow. Much of this is planned around interactive stuff, and hopefully will be fun. And then the second thing there actually comes from the writing requirements, not from the syllabus. The writing requirements will also be required reading for you, but I just want to point out, since it's a big point of the course, this is the last of the list of checklists that we have for what you need to do minimally to fulfill the writing requirements. And it tells you the things that you need to look at, the writing rubric in the syllabus, and this document, which is the writing requirement document, and the syllabus describes those things. And then it says the quality of your writing, as a minimal requirement, must outperform generative AI. So that would be things like ChatGPT or Google's Gemini. What does that mean? Well, I just want to make you aware of that, in case you're not, that's a requirement. If you don't know what that means or what that looks like, then by the end of this course, by the time you turn in your final version of your writing requirement by taking this course, you should be familiar with it. So if you have any questions still when you're doing that writing requirement and turning it in, again, come to office hours, come talk to us. But as you go through the course, this should become very clear to you what that means. I just want to point it out right now. All right, so I mentioned we have opportunities to gain back credit if you're sick and can't get a doctor's note on a Friday. There is one other additional extra credit opportunity that is available to everyone. The other extra credit opportunities you must come to office hours to be eligible for. This one is available to everyone, and this has to do with your writing requirement. 1%, additional 1% of the writing requirement grade if your essay's main topic, sources, and examples are not primarily about one of these three. Generative AI, so that's generally speaking Chat GPT, large language models, Google's Gemini, etc. Or if it is not about primarily voice or speech technology, such as automatic speech recognition, or if it is not primarily about machine translation. The reason is, these are the three main things I found that people think of or know about if they know, or if you ask them about language technology. And this is therefore the main three things that people write about out there. And so we just make an assumption that if your main topic of your final essay, your writing requirement, and the sources that you've chosen and the examples that you give are not primarily about one of these three things, then you have already had to do more research than a classmate who is writing about these things, just because most people don't know anything beyond these three things, and they don't really write about them. So if you choose to not write or research one of these three topics, you will automatically get 1% extra grade on your writing requirement on the final version of your essay. A little bit of other information. My contact information is in the syllabus. Your teaching assistant's contact information is in the syllabus. You can talk to them about their communication policies. These are mine. I usually respond within 2 to 3 business days of your email. If I take more than 2 weeks to respond, that probably means it got lost in cyberspace, so feel free to remind me. However, I do not respond to emails that are questions that are answered in the syllabus or the homework instructions. So if you're not getting an email from me and you've asked about something in the course or the homeworks, check the instructions and check the syllabus, see if the answer is there. And if you're still confused, then copy the part that you're confused about and email me again or come to office hours. I also don't respond to emails with questions about grades or grading. You can come to office hours to talk to me. I only respond to those face-to-face, so I can talk to you about your grades and how the grading policy applies to the specific question you have. And I don't respond to emails about extra credit unless you have come in person and we've talked about it and we've agreed that going forward we will communicate by email.